So the line of best fit, also known as doing a least squares regression. It's called a Lin reg. Do you guys remember that? This is the official notes. I taught you this ahead of time yesterday. So yay, we're a little ahead of the game. Do you remember when it turns sideways? The top becomes the X, the bottom becomes the Y, but you actually don't call them that in your calculator. What is X actually called? Starts with an L. L1, very good. So everybody go and put in, this is your L1. I'm going to make it red to make it maybe pop a little better. And that right there is going to be your L2. So everybody put those into L1 and L2 on your calculator. Stat, edit. Okay, keep going. And yes, you can just type right over the top of old numbers that were in the list. If you by accident have deleted your L1 or your L2 list, you have to go to second plus 7, and then you got to reset all. And it's a little longer process. So if you want to bring it to me, if you've lost your L1 or your L2 list, if they just are gone, bring it up. I'll fix your calculator for you. I'm almost done, and I'm old, so you guys should be able to type way faster than me. It's just a fact that your reaction times slow down a little bit when you get older. Now, I'm going to take a second, and you should too, to just double check my numbers, because all it takes is screw up one number, one of your numbers typed in slightly wrong, and all these calculations are going to be off, and it's all wasted. All right, I have double checked my lists and they're in there good. Now, would you please show your list, keep it in the list view, show your list to the kid next to you, because I want to make sure if somebody's stuck that I find out now. I'm going to pause for a second while we see if anybody's stuck. Next part is stat again, except this time stat calculate. Stat calculate Lin reg. Lin-reg, and it stands for linear regression. Now, after you hit enter, some kids don't know that you have to hit enter like one more time to like actually get the equation to come up. It should say y equals ax plus b, but then underneath it, it says what a and b are. And in this case, what do you have? Let's use the dice of destiny to call on a random person so you don't feel like I'm just picking on people. It's row 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's person 2. Parker, that's you. What did you get for your A?
For A, I got 3.11.
Okay. With 3.11x plus, or is it minus? Okay, minus
16.89.
Now, it's possible that I just got unlucky and called on somebody who typed it in wrong. Can anybody verify that that's what you had as well? Okay, cool. That must be right then, because almost everybody's raising their hand. Now, this is the tricky part. That's just a calculator, and most kids are good at technology. You'll be able to probably type that in and make that work. And if you didn't, just one of your numbers is probably screwed up. Just double check your lists. But do you get what to do if I give you an age? See, this was ages 12, 16, 18, 13, 19, you know, those are the ages. If I give you an age, am I giving you an X or am I giving you a Y? I want you to think about it, and I don't want you to just guess one. That's dumb. There's a way to tell. If I give you an x of 20, you can figure out something. Do you get I just gave you the x, also known as an L1 value, but that's really the x value? If x is 20, put it in, use your calculator, type this in. You have to actually type it, 3.11 times 20, blah, 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 and get the answer. And on the screen, just hold it up to show the kid next to you, and let's see if you got the same thing. Like, memorize what you have, so when you're looking at their calculator, you can see if you got the same number as them. Let's see if you're doing this right. Pausing. Okay, did you guys get 45.3 approximately? 45.3? Okay, cool. What is that? Is it like a number of chickens? I mean, what the heck is what is this 45 you speak of? You got 45.3, what is it? Look at the problem. What is it? Well, original number was an x, so that must be a y. You know, y equals 45.3. What is that? Look up here, and you see it's a distance. Raise your hand if you understood that was a distance. Okay, good. That is how you do all of the problems that we've just, like, we just covered everything. The test is on Tuesday. What do you think we're going to do a lot of between now and Tuesday? Practice. Okay, so I'm going to give you problems. I'm going to say, what about this? And can you do this? So what if I just say, can you find an average? That should be like, that's super easy. Of course I can find the average. Can you find the 5-number summary? That's that thing where it starts with it makes the box plot, you know? Actually, it looks like there's only 4 numbers. What's in the middle that you can't see here? What would go down there? Yes? Know what it's called? Yeah.
Oh, median?
That's called the median. Very good. This is the min. This is the max. This is the median. Would you also be able to do that kind where you got this bell curve, and let's say we had something where the average was an 85. I had a test not that long ago where the average was an 85. Let's say that we had a standard deviation of 5. Would you please make the 2 lines on either side of this? Everybody do that one. We're going to review for a bit here because we've covered everything. And now I just got to make you practice it a little bit so that you can be a rock star on Tuesday when we take the test. What am I supposed to do? I see an 85. The standard deviation is 5. On my test, this is the little symbol for it. Standard deviation is 5. Random dice. Row 4. Jay, it's asking you, do you know how to do these? I knew you were gone for a day, but you know what goes here? And you know what goes here? All right, watch. All I got to do is add the standard deviation, which is 5. So this becomes 90 and this becomes 95. Raise your hand if you had that right. Okay, good. What do I do when I'm going this way? Well, I get smaller. So 80 and 75. Then some of you guys are going to be so smart that you don't even have to look it up. It's going to be given on the test. Do you remember what percent of people are in here? Yeah.
34.
There's our best memory in the group, perhaps, or at least the fastest hand in the West. And if that's 34% of people, then this block here would be 34% of people. Does anybody remember the next stage out? Parker remembers it.
It's 13.5.
13.5% and 13.5. All right, so what if I said, what percent of people are between 80 and 90? What percent of people are between 80 and 90? Yes, sir.
68%.
Yep, 68%. So if this was an actual test in here, would it really follow a perfect bell curve? No, it doesn't. But if we took enough people's, like shoe size, for example, it would make the bell curve. If we took enough people's IQs, it makes the bell curve, also called the normal curve. All right, we should probably finish with the last two that are out here. And it's 2.35%. And the last one is I think it's 0.15. Can anybody verify that? Is that what you think you remember? I think so too. 0.15%. Ridiculously low percent. It's not 15%. It's 0.15. It's way less than 1%. Okay, so if I said, what percent of people were above 85? It's kind of a trick question. Think about it for a second. What are all the ones above 85 going to add up to? Say it if you know it. 50%. Yeah, 34 plus 13.5 plus 2.35 plus 0.15. It adds up to exactly 50%. All right. So it's not likely we would pick that one. But I could easily see this question. What percent of people were above 95% on the test? Try to answer that one. What percent of people were above 95%? If you just found yourself adding these two numbers, you were doing it right. 2.5% of people. Okay? All right, so here's our big wide-ranging review now. You've already entered some stuff in your L1 and your L2. Why make you retype in new numbers? That'd be kind of dumb. So would you just please figure out the average age? You should be able to pull that up on a chart somewhere. Hint, it's under the stat button. The average age. Hold it up to the kid next to you. See if you got the same thing for your average age. Stella, what'd you guys get?
I don't know, I didn't put in my test one.
Okay.
2.83.
Anybody verify 2.83? Oh, we're not getting that. Okay. That actually doesn't look like the average age to me anyway. Because look, it's all these, and they don't average up to 2, right? Average is supposed to be kind of in the middle of the group. So maybe you did something wrong. It was list L1, and you should have been taking L1 and doing the average on it. Okay. What did you get? That seems more right. Who had 15? Okay, good. So the average of that list was 15. If you don't know what happened there, you're looking for the stat. There are one variable stats under calculate. And I should have X with a bar should have been 15. Check under one var stats. It's under the stats button and calculate. Okay, next. Just use your eyeballs. What's the mode? The mode of the ages. You guys know what mode means? What's the one-word definition of mode? Most. And it was 16. 16 was the one that came up the most. All right. Next, I'd like you to do the 5-number summary for that same thing. This is under one var stats. Could you shut the door for us, please? Got some very interesting noises out there. We're going to do one var stats and find me the 5-number summary. In case you're like, where exactly is that, Mr. Server? Stat, calc, one var stats. And you have to arrow down until you see the min. And I want you to make one of these guys, a box with whiskers. For the minimum goes on the left, the maximum goes on the right. The one that's not listed is the line down the middle, and that's the median. All right, I'm going to come around in case anybody is lost on how to do one variable stats on L1. So a big review of this. This is the 5-number summary, the small one. This is Q1 and Q3. if they ask you for the range that's these two subtracted, who can tell me the interquartile range? Hint, it has the word quartile, which uses the letter Q. The interquartile range. Connor, you got a guess?
6,
Yeah, you got it. And what numbers did you subtract?
18 last one.
Yep, it's this one, and you just subtract the two, the range between the quartiles. What percentage of data is in here? Hint, it's more than 25. What is it? Say it if you know it. In between here and here. That's like the box itself. What percent of the data is that? 50%. The top 25 is up here. The bottom 25 is down here. Man, we have covered almost everything. And so, your homework is a Schoology quiz. Everybody please open that up. And we may do more after that, but to start with, we'll just do that Schoology quiz. And that's all I got for the video for today.